okay? And the fact that it does that is actually the reason why there's life on the planet. And I'll explain. Because imagine this. Imagine you have a cup of water, okay? Let's say you have a cup of water. I can do a better cup than that. Let's say you have a cup of water, all right? And you put your water in there, right? And then you put it in your freezer, all right? And you start cooling it down. What happens first is that the top here becomes ice. And the reason the top becomes ice is because the water starts to cool down, and when it cools down, it actually expands, and because it expands, it becomes less dense and it floats. And that's why ice cubes float, okay? Because the ice is less dense, so everything floats to the top. You with me? When you go and you look at, our planet again, and you look at a lake is just a dip in the ground, right? And there's water in here. When it gets really cold outside, what happens to the lake? Like really cold. It freezes over, doesn't it? And you get ice on the top. And that's because the whole idea of the floating, and that's because everything's backwards than what you would expect. So we get a layer of ice on top, right? And then what happens is the heat from the center of the earth comes in here and warms this water up down here and keeps it warm and keeps it from freezing. And that means the life in here can survive. If it went the other way around, if water behaved like all other substances, what would happen is you would start to freeze from the bottom first. And then all the fish would be up here going, oh shit. And then it would start freezing. And see, the problem is, as it freezes, the water that's up here is still subjected to all the cold air. So it continues to get colder and colder. And so it just freezes from the bottom up, and eventually everything in there would die. So because the ice forms on top, it's like a blanket keeping the heat in the water, and then everything lives. It's kind of random, useless information, but somewhat interesting. Yeah? No? Okay, y'all have a good day. We're good. We're not going to start the next section. Make sure you do your homework for proportion, okay? Do your homework for proportion. Let's be clear on it, because I want to make sure everyone does the right thing. Where is that? There it is. Homework for percents and proportions. All these problems. Look at this. Lots of word problems. More proportions. More word problems. Quite a bit of work there. Quite a bit of work. Whoa, a lot of work. I would hope that we come back and you have some questions on this. All right? Because I'm sure there's problems that we have not done in class that are going to appear here. All right. Have a great Monday. Rest of your day. Yes? Number